guys, it's Tanisha from Mommy and Me back with another video. So I know I said that the last video was gonna be the last video for the series. I'm sorry, I lied. I just had to share this one with you guys. So this is the last video for the All About Reading series. Thank you guys so much for tuning in week after week. I really hope this series has helped you guys and has gave you beneficial information to help you on your reading journey with your child or children. What I wanted to share with you in this last final video for the All About Reading series is just some tips and tricks that I have picked up along our reading journey. So I want to say my reading journey with her was like 5 years practically, because I started in the womb and it was just books on books on books from then. Even when she came out, books on books on books, like, and you can see that throughout the videos from the All About Reading series of how we have progressed from the womb to where we are now. So some things that definitely helped on this journey for us was nursery rhymes. We did a lot of nursery rhymes. We still do nursery rhymes. And I think it's just the fun factor, the repetition, and all of that. It helps because kids tend to memorize those nursery rhymes from a young age. And although they might not understand exactly what's being said in them, they memorize them. So they're learning words by default. And as they get older and they realize, like, okay, well, I know this word, then they start to question, okay, well, what really is it? And there you go, start working on vocabulary. For example, my daughter's favorite nursery rhyme is Hey Diddle Diddle. So now when she says it, there was a day she asked me, she's like, Mommy, what's a fiddle? Because she kept saying Hey Diddle Diddle. I'm like, where did that come from? She's like, oh, Hey Diddle Diddle, they said a cat and a fiddle. What's a fiddle? Because she never thought about what's a fiddle before. She just liked the rhyme. So now that she's hearing the words and she's saying it, it's like, okay, well, let me figure out what it is. So now we know we can do that vocabulary portion as she's in her 4.5 years stage. Another thing was finding funny books. So kids love to laugh. I mean, I haven't met a kid that doesn't like to laugh. So finding the funny books and bringing them to life, that really engages a child when it comes to reading. So we did a lot of that and we continue to do that. And now that she picks her own library books, she does that. Like if the cover is funny, she's grabbing it. Period. That's all. And even when I'm reading to her, she wants me to, like, make the funny noises or make the funny faces. She wants to bring the book alive because that is how it works for her. So I feel like it might work for others, who knows, but I'm just sharing it with you. Another thing that I definitely recommend is having letters everywhere. So reading literally starts out with letter recognition, like knowing the main consonants and vowels, knowing the letter sound. Like it's literally letters. I kept letters in her bathtub from since she was young. Letters in her bathtub, letter blocks, letters in the fridge, just letters everywhere. And as she constantly saw it and played with it, and as she got older, she first started, like, just recognizing the letters and saying it. Then now to this stage, she's like using the magnets on the fridge to actually like build words and build sentences and things of that nature. So constantly having it in their face definitely helps, and you see the difference because now when she sees signs or she goes to the grocery store or things like that, she's seeing these letters, she's sounding out words, she's putting them together, and it's just beautiful. I love it. Keeping books within like accessible reach. Of course, don't put the books that they can rip and tear based on age, but having books where they're able to just grab it whenever they want to. So what I did was get like a cheap little bookshelf, put it in my daughter's room. So now, because I don't like her coming into the homeschool room without me because she likes to meddle in things, but I put a bookshelf in her room and I put her favorite books there on the shelf. So now she doesn't have to come to me to go to her actual library here to get books. She can just grab it off her shelf, read, and then put it back. And she got comfortable doing that. So now I don't have to, like, she's not limited to when she reads. She can read whenever she wants. And I did find that very helpful as far as throughout this process. Another big one is being an example. So kids mimic what they see, especially with their parents. And I'm not saying you have to sit here and have a book in your hand every time your child is around, but it doesn't even have to be like an actual like reading book. It can be a magazine, it can be the Bible, it can be whatever. Once you have a book, it's like that child's gonna see you in books and they're gonna naturally want to be in books too, at least from the young age when they're on that mimicking phase. I know for a fact every time my daughter saw me with a book, she went and got one right away. Even though she wasn't even reading at that point, she would make up the story, like the whole storyline based off of the pictures, but she wanted to do what I was doing. So just being a good role model and example really helps. Some things that I realized was happening throughout the journey that you want to look out for is memorizing. You don't want to teach your child how to memorize. It doesn't help if they can just memorize the whole book, but if you give them the single words out of the book, they don't know what it is because they just memorized the story. So try to focus on making sure your children are actually learning the letter sounds, learning how to pronounce them, and then learning the actual words and not just learning the story that you're giving them, because it's really not going to benefit them in the long run. Another thing is not getting stuck on just one method. There are so much methods out there for reading, for math, for science, for everything. And you want to get like use whatever works for your child. Every child is different. Well, all of this that I'm sharing with you will work. It worked for my child. I don't know if it's going to work for yours, but that's the beauty about sharing information. You try it out, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, then you know what doesn't work and you can try something else. But the biggest thing is to try something else. Like, don't get sucked into any curriculum or educational strategies where it's just like, this is how you teach this. No, there are other ways around everything. You need to tailor it towards your child and how they learn and the best way for them to grasp the concept of whatever concept you're teaching, including reading. Something else that I definitely don't want you guys to kind of overlook is modeling. And this is you basically being an example of what you want the child to do. So let's say we're reading this book, Tip. I'm going to model reading it to her. So I'm going to say tip, and then I'm going to open the book and I'm going to go through the words and I'm going to say it exactly how I want to hear her say it. Then I'm going to read, Tip got a dog tag, like, and then sometimes if I sound it out like that with each word, then I'll read it fluently. Tip got a dog tag, and I'll do that for the whole book. So she's kind of getting an example of what she needs to be doing. I found that doing that really, really helps, and not doing it makes it a little bit more difficult for her. Another thing is not taking regular assessments. So what I mean by that is you teach a concept, you jump to the next concept when you're done. Okay, I finished teaching this, I'm going to teach them the next one. And not really checking to see if they actually learn the skill. Now, if depending on how your schedule is, you might not be able to do it daily. However, even if you do it weekly, just don't jump to another concept without verifying that they've learned this first concept first. A lot of times, especially if you're going on like a strict curriculum plan or a strict lesson plan, they might have exactly what you're supposed to teach on each day. That's not like education and learning is not a one size fit all. You might be able to do that with one child and not the other. You might have to do lesson 32 three times, and it might be spread out between 3 days. It might not be able to be done on that one day because that concept has not been grasped. It's not necessarily how quick you finish. It's if you're actually gaining the skill that you need to gain to get to the next level. Because if you just rush through, yeah, you finish the lesson plan, yeah, you finish the curriculum or whatever, but they don't understand half of the things that you taught, then it's a waste of time. So just making sure you're doing those assessments to see, okay, did they really understand what I taught? And if they didn't, well, let's go revisit it, or let's try another way to see if they'll learn that way. And I think that's pretty much all. That's all my 2 cents that I can give you guys so far, that I realized was little things that kind of popped up as we went through this reading, as we're going through this reading journey, because it's clearly still continuing. But I just want to thank you guys again for sticking through with me for this entire All About Reading series. I hope it helped you, like I said, and of course, I love to hear stories from you guys. What are you using on your reading journey? Have you used some of these tools before? Do you have tips and tricks, especially for those who have older kids? Because, as I said, mine is just 4.5. So I am very open to new information, new products, any advice, because I mean, it seems okay now, but I have no idea how it's going to be next year or the year after. So whatever you guys can tell me and share with me, I will very much appreciate it as well. As I said, I hope this series helped you guys and was beneficial in some way. And I will see you guys next week, where we will be starting some new videos about curriculum. So definitely tune in for that. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.